Hey, the Olympics is over, so it's over with now. Now it's back to the business, back to the grind. But football is back. Most
Yes,
importantly,
sir.
we just seen our first preseason with all most of the starters. A couple starters was out, but we seen the Caleb Williams and the rest of the squad do their third thizzle. And we seen a little clip in the Hard Knocks first episode when Nick Saban talked about the pressures of a quarterback and how it can be detriment. We're gonna do a little bit of a deep dive into that in today's episode, as well as we're gonna talk about these White Sox and these goddamn Cubs. And Sky basketball is coming back soon. Kennedy Carter had a little bit of an injury, but we seeing her back on the court in the next few days, and she's looking good. We're gonna talk about that after that at Chi-Town Sports with Big Kev, Steve-O, and let's go after this video. Thank y'all for tuning in for another episode on Chi-Town Sports Central. It's your host Steve-O here with your big bro Kev up in his bidding with his Hokage ass t-shirt. I don't know what that shit is. But let's get straight into it. So as I said in the beginning, we did see that football is officially back. We had our second preseason game against the Buffalo Bills, and we seen majority of our starters. Most importantly, we seen our rookie quarterback, first pick, Caleb Williams.
Yes, sir.
And before we get into the Nick Saban things, about what was just your thoughts on going away from seeing his first drive and the first few drives, and just his debut in general?
I mean, the optics are there. You can see that he at least takes the game very seriously. He wants to play mistake-free football, and you can tell that he's that's his goal every single week, every single play. And it's getting to see him live action. A couple of those passes were like dropping, even though it's preseason. The no-look pass or the pass down the sidelines to Cole Kmet,
Back the
or
screen,
fitting the ball into tight windows. Like those things, that's what quarterbacks do. And unfortunately for Chicago Bears fans, we've rarely seen that throughout our lives. Maybe, flash in the pan here or there. Not no disrespect to, any of the other quarterbacks who come through these doors. But what we got in stake, at stake with Caleb Williams is big. And we want to see him succeed. And so far he looks good.
Yeah, like coming away, I was just looking at some of the small things. Mainly, I was looking at him going through his progressions because coming from USC, that wasn't a full progressions offense. So he did well with that. You seen a couple plays when he went from left to right, and he, especially on that third down completion he made to DJ Moore, that was full progression, as well as we're seeing that same Waldron. I don't know why I said that so wild. Waldron is doing what we thought he's going to do. We're going to let Caleb still be Caleb, but in the confines of what the system is going to be. We're still going to be a moderately heavy, run-heavy team because that's just what our offensive line is best at, and that's why we picked up DeAndre Swift, and that's just what Shane Waldron is. He's an attitude guy. He likes to run the ball. He likes inside zone runs, and that's a lot of things we've seen with Khalil Herbert, Roshan, as well as Ian Wheeler, who's also been stepping up as well. So we know that's going to come. Caleb is that Cole Kmet throw was just crazy. It was a jump throw off the back foot. Not too many quarterbacks can make that. That just is what it is. We all said, I wasn't quick to say he was an elite or a generational player, but I did say he does have generational arm talent. It's just watching him, you know that he has that, and he showed that today. I mean that game. So I like everything I've seen from him, especially from the offense and the defense, especially. Like that defense plays lockdown defense the rest of that game. Finished with 8 sacks. Secondary did their thing. Multiple defenders had over 2 tackles, a lot of tackles for loss. So I like what happened for him. But we did see the debut of us being on Hard Knocks, and me being a Bears fan, knowing how the Bears are, I never thought the day would happen where we was gonna have some goddamn camera crews and Hallis Hall. But those days are here, and we seen it. And I think it caught a lot of people by surprise, and a lot of people didn't even know that our head coach Matt Eberflus was a part of the Nick Saban tree as well as he played for Nick Saban in Toledo, and he coached under him at a time there as well. So when he came here, there's a clip that went on in Hard Knocks where he brought him in, he spoke to the team a little bit, but they was in a press conference room and they talked about the high stakes of why quarterbacks coming into the NFL are failing at a drastic rate. And he basically said it's the pressure, it's the expectation. He said expectations are killer. And he's not telling no lies, but I want to deep dive into because especially when it comes to our situation at hand, there's two ways I look at it because on one hand, you have a quarterback that came into fold from high school to college, being that he was going to be that dude and he was going to beat everybody out. Period. Which is why he chose to go to Oklahoma, beat out that dude, made a name for himself, moved on to USC, won Heisman, and continued to put up numbers after winning the Heisman. And with that alone, alongside with him being one of probably the first global known NIL quarterback to make money as a college athlete, there's going to be a ton of pressure on him regardless, and it's almost nothing he can do with him. But I do think there's a way that he did say that, and Flus mentioned it, that it's a production and development period in between that most people don't realize and that we got to focus on. So what was your thoughts about when you first seen that clip?
Well, like seeing Nick Saban, you can tell like the energy of a champion is what he has. You can see it. He oozes it. Can't nobody tell him nothing. You feel me? So I like that, and you know the fact that he was able to come and talk not just to the players, but to sit down and have a one-on-one with coach. That was big, and you can see them the way they kind of interpose interlope the footage with the conversation. You can see that he was already
Yeah.
utilizing some of those techniques when he told them, I stand behind the quarterback just so I can see what they seeing, and we can have a good rapport with each other. Even as the head coach, it's not even an offensive-minded head coach. It was great to see. And then the way he said, I don't say anything negative in front of the other teammates. Make sure you talk to
Yep.
him in private. I can show you, I can tell you, and then I can show you. I can show you better than I can tell you was basically the gist of what he was saying. And I think it's a good approach to have with a young quarterback who has the potential to be one of the greatest to ever do it. At least he has the mindset to be one of the greatest to
For
ever
sure.
do it. And that can come to fruition if he finds himself surrounded by good coaches and a good front office. So having a mentor like Nick Saban can't be bad for Eberflus. Gotten better in the last couple of seasons as a coach, and let's just see if bearded Eberflus can take it the next level, the next step, and get the Bears into the playoffs.
It's crazy how much a beard can do for your whole appearance because he looked like he was 70 when he didn't have a beard. Like it's crazy. But yeah, like you could definitely see, like I mentioned it even in live. I hate to say it, but yeah, Nick Saban definitely shows a heart of a champion, and it's a proof in how he talks. And you see why the things he talked about, you have to take heed to it due to the dominance he had, not only in the NFL, but most definitely in the college level. And to be honest, I feel like it's a little bit more difficult. Not saying that, not necessarily it's more difficult, but I feel like college difficulty and NFL difficulty is its own separate thing because trying to build up basically kids into men is a difficult task. And winning in the NFL, I think the reason why he don't like because it's the ego. And you hear a lot of former players and former coaches realize that they want to just stick around college or high school because they don't want to deal with the ego side of, family member. They're grown men, they got families, they're making big time money. So, and sometimes it comes to a point where players are just making FU money. So there's nothing you can say to them. You don't really run into that. But it also is kind of funny because we see him retire when that money started to come into college.
Well, you
So,
you saw
go ahead.
DJ kind of make a joke about it when he was singing about his new contract, and he was like, I'm getting that. I don't got to listen to the coach type money." It was a joke that
Yeah.
they were singing, but at the end of the day, you know, Nick Saban, his word is something that everybody, football players or not regular people, should want to have a conversation with Nick Saban. Just
No,
that
bro,
simple.
it's that simple. Like I don't like he showed dominance for over a decade, but
Mm-hmm.
I like the things that he said. I like that he, like you said earlier, you seen that Hard Knocks realized, and it wasn't that long. It's when he was told that type of information from his former coach, he immediately take heed to it and implement it into his own coaching style. And I think that's something he should have been doing. I wonder what it. I think he realized that he almost lost his job last year, and he
And if
realized he had to do. Go ahead.
and if they only win 4 or 5 games this season, he's definitely going to lose his job. I'm not saying that Coach Eberflus is in the hot seat. I'm just saying that the season will dictate just how hot that seat is. It might not be, hot today, but it can warm up. So yeah,
It can definitely warm up. But yeah, I like what everything's gonna be seen. Y'all make sure y'all tune in to Chicago Bears Central because that episode drops next week, episode 2. We're gonna definitely do another recap of that. So y'all make sure y'all tune in on Chicago Bears Central.
that's
But
Tuesday.
that's Tuesday for sure. So make sure y'all tune in there.
9
But
p.m. Tuesday, 9
not
p.m. Central.
9 p.m. Central. So you came in on Max. That's the only way you could watch it on Max. But let's get straight into a little bit of depressing moves. Let's talk about these good old White Sox. As you know, Pedro Grifol is gone.
Mm-hmm.
He's not here no more. We let him go after going on what was it, a 22 losing streak? 22 losing streak?
21. It ended at 21.
21.
21.
21. We ended at 21. What was your overall thoughts about this? I was like, I mean, he wasn't a good manager of any stretch of the imagination, but to me, that wasn't the overall problem of this whole organization.
I mean, it's a classic scapegoat move. And frankly, I've said it over on Chicago White Sox and Cubs Central that it's I would have made him stay until the end of the season. Go down with
Mm,
the ship type situation. Like he doesn't deserve a paid vacation. You need to stay here and suffer.
mhm. Yeah,
He probably went and caught the rest of the Olympics. Like, man, I'm gonna go over here and
I'm
catch
going to Paris.
right. Let me go catch the last one real quick. So I don't like that about it, but it was already a given that he was gonna be gone. Because they got to take the
Mhm,
attention off of that long losing streak. And here's the thing: you win one game and then turn around and lose the next one after having the lead in that one. All the way looked like he was gonna win 2 in a row, but instead he wasn't necessarily. Team gave up on him a long time ago, and then they gave up on themselves.
mhm,
And that's what happened with this. It's tough to watch. It's still tough to watch because they still have an opportunity to break the record in this season because it's still about 42 games left. If they go on another 20 plus losing streak, which they possibly could, they'll have
definitely can.
an opportunity to break the record again. So it's just that bad of a team. Dorf, man, he's an irritating person, man. Like he just doesn't care about the White Sox.
Mr. Burns.
Yes, and he doesn't care about the White Sox fans. But they did get swept by the Cubs this weekend. There for like helping the Cubs in their quest to try to make it to the playoffs. The Cubs are only 3.5 games out of the wild card in the National League, and the National League has been real tough this year. They still got
Mhm,
a few teams to leapfrog, which includes the St. Louis Cardinals. But the Cubs are at 59 and 60. They got a chance to go first time in
mhm.
forever. They're only 3 games out, by the way, but for the first time in forever, they can get to it if they take care of business versus a very tough Cleveland Guardians team. But they can make it. Like if they keep playing well, they've been
What
playing really well. They've won, I think, 4 out of their last 5 series, and they're on a 4-game winning streak, and they're finally in a plus minus differential. So the Cubs are looking like they at least want to try to win something. Where the White Sox are just down in the dumps.
what would the Cubs have to continue to keep doing in order to finish out this season on a high note?
Well, Craig Counsell has been like, I don't know, I wouldn't say monumental. At least the Cubs have been hovering around respectability all season, but he hasn't really stepped in as the skipper in the way that the Cubs had hoped, right? They had David Ross, beloved big person here in Chicago. He won the World Series with and he was coaching them, but he wasn't coaching that greatly. So they had an opportunity to swoop in and grab counsel from Milwaukee. But a lot of one-run game losses, a lot of bullpen situations where they just kind of just fold under the pressure, a lot of poor situational hitting, but trading for Paredes and getting some healthy people back has helped them get back into the swing of things, even though Bellinger went down again. He should be back soon. But yeah, the Cubs, I don't know, they just got to keep on supporting each other, man. Like they got that grit right now. Pete Crow Armstrong looks like he's finally starting to hit more. You know what he can do defensively. They're not losing, at least lately, the games that they have been losing. It's like, man, they almost one by one. So they're doing it at the right time. Every season it's a team that decides to turn it on in August and September to make a push for the playoffs, and that could be the Cubs. Kind of keeping tempered expectations, though, because they've been so topsy-turvy, and they would have to play above 500 baseball for the rest of the season, Steve-O, in which they're 59-60. They haven't played 500 baseball in a while. They really got to win out of the next 42 games. They got to win 30 of them to have a real chance to make it to the playoffs. And that's going to be a tough task. So we'll see if they're up to it. Yeah, we'll see if they're up to it.
Yeah. And to fold back to the South Side before we move on, there has been a little bit of rumors. I don't know how true it is, but they said that, they already have a general manager that's going to take over from now on. I think it's the assistant coach, right? The assistant manager, is going to take over the reins for the remainder of the season, right?
You talking about the coach, Grady Sizemore?
Yeah,
He's going to take over as the manager. Yeah, he's an interim manager now, but the real question is who's going to coach the White Sox next season, because I'm not sure if he's going to get his chance, right? He's going to coach these next 40 games, and they might look at him. But go ahead.
But yeah, I was going to mention it's a rumor going around that they probably might be interested of looking at AJ Przinsky, a possible general manager. What's your thoughts about that?
Well, so not that general manager, Chris Getz is general manager, but just the manager in general.
Manager, I did say to you. My fault.
But it's okay. But yeah, AJ would be at least a shot in the arm for fans, like for nostalgic purposes. I'm not sure what his coach, baseball is
style,
one of those. Yeah, like it's one of them sports where you played it and you can teach it, but are people going to be receptive to what you're trying to what you're trying to get out there? Just like we were just talking about with Eberflus when he had coach come through, Saban came through and imparted wisdom on him. So I don't know what Przinsky's been up to besides he's been commentating in Miami, but has he been coaching? He might have been coaching in high school, because that's just how baseball is.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. If it's Przinsky, if it's anybody, they're gonna have a hard time because the roster is trash. And it's going to be really tough to build around the players that they have, and to do it with, a almost closed pocketbook, because, Jerry don't spend money on the White Sox.
No money. Yeah, let's move on, because I'm getting more depressed about more we talk about baseball, which is crazy, because once upon a time I used to love watch baseball, but I just can't do it. I can't do it. But to go on a higher note, as I said in the beginning, the Olympics is over, so we're back to WNBA basketball soon. So that means Chicago Sky is on their way back. I believe they're meant to be back in practice in 2 days, so they'll be showing up at practice. We did know that Kennedy Carter did have a brief little injury in practice, but she says she was fine on Twitter, and then on IG either today or yesterday, she was at a gym by herself. She was like, I love it. I'm here before the lights on. This is the type of shit I like. And she looked good. She didn't look like she was limping or anything, so she looked pretty healthy. But what are some of the things you think we're gonna have to be in store for the next half of the season? Because we all know the WNBA, especially after All-Star break, even though it's even more of a longer break now, after all, it's a whole different time. They're way more aggressive. People are get ready for the playoffs. What do you think we got to improve on and expect for the next second half of the season?
Well, I'll say this: break couldn't have come fast enough for all the rookies in the league, because they went, straight from college, playing in the NCAA tournament, some playing for national championships, to playing in the WNBA pretty much like the next day. So some of them were kind of being imminent about not being selected to the team. But the reality is it helped them to not be selected to the team, to not have 365 straight days of basketball, traveling, all so on and so forth. So I'm expecting some of these rookies who kind of was hitting that rookie wall that was struggling a little bit, maybe Caitlin Clark with the turnovers or Angel Reese with the missing the baskets right at the basket. Maybe they took this time to work on their craft, get into the gym and half of this season because it ain't nothing's given. Everything's earned. We already know that the New York Liberty and the Connecticut Sun those are the tops of the league, but the rest of these guys are right there on them. And the Las Vegas Aces are not going to go away quietly. And of course, the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever is good for the NBA, WNBA, for them to be fighting for playoff position with each other, just due to the whole Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, I guess, created legacy situation, right? That's going on with them. So I'm excited to see it. I don't want to see any of these teams fall out of the playoff race. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in the playoffs. They need a healthy Asia Wilson and so on and so forth. And hopefully people were able to nurse themselves back to health with this month off. That's pretty dope, man. Like it's not normal that you get a month off in the middle of the season.
Yeah, a whole month off of that. So yeah, and there was a lot of people, especially on the Dallas Wings, that was hurt. A lot of players around the league that was hurt. So that was the main thing I said. Even coming before we came into this break, a lot of people don't realize it now, but they're gonna benefit it a lot, especially the rookies, about getting this break off for sure. Now I did send that tweet to you that Angel said after the game, of course the women won the gold medal against France. But she said, Gabby Williams, you wanna play for the Sky again? Cause you was hooping today.
Man, that was one of the greatest basketball games I've ever watched. Bar none, male or female, high school, college, Olympics, the drama, the shot making and shot taking, the fearlessness. I mean, like every time it looked like the United States were gonna at least look like they had it in the bag. France would go down and hit another tough shot.
No.
And the fact that if old girl, I can't think, we'd say her name was Gabby Williams, right? If she had shot the ball without coming down, like if she would have just caught it on the way up and put it up instead of landing first and shooting it, it would have been in that's like set her feet, and it was just if she would have just shot it on the catch, I think she would have made it. That would have been crazy. But the fact that she made that shot, and the U.S. was able to get their 8th straight gold medal in a row. That's bananas, bro, by the slimmest of margin. Shout out to France, both the males and females getting silver, but all that hard work gets you nice second place, guy. USA.
Oh my mama. That's the only time I'm patriotic. I ain't gonna lie.
My mama,
But to end off this episode, I'm gonna end it with a little bit of fun. I'm gonna catch you off guard. For the Sky and Bulls, name me at least one player you seen during this All-Star break that you could see on another team on another country that you was impressed enough that you could see could fit on either the Sky or the Bulls.
Non-NBA,
the people that was in the Olympics,
but they don't play for the NBA.
Do or don't.
Well, I mean, obviously Gabby Williams for the it would be on the team, or is she just
she's in Turkey right now.
Happening?
I think Gabby is gonna be very difficult because she left the WNBA because she wasn't getting paid enough, and she said that she's basically getting paid twice as much overseas. She played a year. I think she played a year or two in France, and now she's in Turkey. So I think it'll be a little bit difficult to get her back in the league because you're gonna have to offer her that type of money. But the money she's making, the best players in the league in the W are making. So I don't necessarily. In order for her to get that money, she will at least have to play a year or two to prove herself that she's worth that money. And I don't know if she's willing to do that.
Yeah, but then as far as the men's are concerned, like I look at it like this. And while you're playing over there, over here. Like, you got tape. People have seen you, and some people have earned an opportunity to maybe come to G League or whatever, but they always play better for their countries. Like, there are some players that play so well for their countries that they've NBA opportunity, but it doesn't really translate over here because it's a different
You're right.
game. It's a different game. So, like, I don't think I was looking at any of the hoopers on other teams. They was all ops to me. You know, I wasn't, you know, the guy that in French Ben Wallace. I saw Ben
Bro,
Wallace. That was
bro,
hilarious.
Ben Wallace with the soccer socks.
Right. So he kind of reminded me of like Kenneth Faried a little bit, right?
He
But
did.
you know, I don't know if that'll come over, if it'll translate to the NBA. Like, he dunked on LeBron, good job. He can shoot. He's high level. He's high energy, but that'll probably translate to maybe like 4 or 5 points a game. He got to crack the lineup. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Hey, man. Well, maybe him. Like, I saw of Francis games to see he was at least consistent. It wasn't just that game where he's putting up 20 points, but he, again, I didn't really see anybody that like made me say, I wish they was on the Chicago Bulls. Maybe talking about
Abramovich. That's what I was going to. I feel like I'm trying to find exactly what his name was because I want to give him his credit. Is it Dejan Davanovic? No, it can't be. Him,
he was on
Bradovic,
Serbia.
and Vucelis Munich. I feel like, and I think Vucelis Munich is that guy the Bulls was looking at, but got picked up. They had the right. OKC had his rights, and he ended up going to Charlotte after that. So I think Vucelis Munich is an NBA guy, but I think Bradanovic. I think if I'm not mistaken, that was the number 31. He was a little bit taller, a little slimmer, but he was coming off screens. Like, I feel like if what's the buddy name? Sheen down in Miami. What's his name? If he can be in the league,
you talking about
yeah.
Duncan Robinson.
If Duncan Robinson can make it in the league, and not to like discredit, because Duncan Robinson definitely worked on his game. He definitely
he earned it.
He added putting the ball on his floor to his arsenal, which has definitely helped the Miami Heat, which he would have to do. But I do think if somebody in the right situation gave Bogdanovich a chance, I wouldn't be mad at it. I think the Bulls could use some extra shooting.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, I feel you. If you're talking about somebody that's going to shoot, that's upside down, son. He's putting his pajama shirt on upside down. But at the end of the day, the NBA, they know who they want, and some of these guys showed enough. If they show, we'll see them. They'll make it.
Yep. We always gonna find talent.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line. But it was a great on 3 stuff. But I thought it was crazy. That's like all cardio. Them fools do not stop.
Yeah, that's one thing we can have again on another episode. I think they need to give. There was no way like a Tyrese Maxey or somebody of that nature could have been in a 3-on-3. Like, we had no NBA talent on a 3-on-3, which is crazy. Not even like we could even deal with the women's did get some college players in there.
They could have
something.
Halliburton on
right.
Shit,
right. Right. We would have had gold in that motherfucker. I think we finished in bronze or silver.
We would have had platinum. We didn't have bronze make it to the medal rounds. They got what the men's did. The women made it to bronze.
Yeah, they got bronze for sure. But yeah, that was despicable. But yeah, that and breakdancing. We got to do better than breakdancing too. But yeah, but it was a good experience. I feel like that was one of the Olympics I probably remember the most out of all. I do remember Tokyo or Rio, but I really gonna remember this one. But
12 in the middle.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but thank y'all for that's it. Thank y'all for another episode on Chi-Town Sports Central. We're gonna be back when another tapes drop. We're gonna talk all Chicago sports as you've seen in this episode, and we'll catch y'all in another one.